Hi, I'm Dr. Catherine Ojakangas from Accent American, and I haven't made a video for a while, so I thought I would. I've given some talks in the past couple of years to women, but also to men, about how to speak comfortably, confidently, and how to sound powerful. And so I decided today to make this little video. Now, we all want to sound powerful and confident. And the question is, how do we do this? Today, in this short video, I'm going to talk to you about the physiology of your voice and how we actually make voice and what things we can do and shouldn't do in order to sound powerful and confident. So we're going to talk about the physiology of your voice and how to use it the right way, and how to use what I'm going to call optimal pitch. That is, not to speak with too high of a voice and not to speak with too low of a voice. So first of all, how do we make voice? Voice is made with the vocal folds, which are in the area called the larynx of our throat. Our air comes up through our pharynx, through the airway, and it goes past the larynx, which has two little muscles that vibrate. Now, if you all say, and put your hand right here on your throat. For a male, you can put your hand on this bump called the Adam's apple. You can feel vibration, and that is the vibration of the vocal folds. They're right there. Now, if I were to be recording all of you saying, some of you would be sounding higher than others. Some would have very high voices, low, and all in the middle. Why is this? Well, we produce voice with the vocal folds, as I said. Air coming up. This is a picture looking down your throat. Air comes up and our vocal folds are wide apart to breathe. But when we speak, our vocal cords adduct, go together, and make voice. And voice is determined by described, I should say, by three qualities: the pitch, the volume, and the quality of the voice. Now, pitch, how high or how low your voice is determined by the length and the tension in your vocal folds. And the vocal folds are vibrating at 100 to even up to 1,000 hertz, 1,000 times a second. And that determines how high or low our voice is. Now, the volume, or how loud we speak, is determined by our air coming up, our breath that comes up from our lungs through our vocal folds and out our mouth, is like the gas that fuels the production of voice. And then quality, the quality of our voice is determined by the pitch, the volume, and the shape of our vocal tract, the resonance chamber. So optimal pitch is based on the length and the mass of your vocal folds. So you, just like we should all speak at our optimal pitch. You can see this line down here is the optimal pitch of somebody, and we go up and down it and around it. We vary around this main pitch. Now, a tall man will have a deeper voice than a shorter man or a shorter woman, and a baby will have the highest voice. So let's try now to find our optimal pitch. There are three really easy methods: the aha method, the and the audible yawn. So first of all, let's just try the aha method. You can try the other two by yourself when you have some time. Now, what we're going to do here is to just say aha and hold out the and that will be around your optimal pitch. You can even find that pitch, that note on a piano. Mine is about the G or the A below middle C. So let's try it together. Take a breath and go, that is about my optimal pitch, and I talk above it and I talk below it. And that's how you can do that. With the method, you do the same thing, but you say and hold out the voice. And then an audible yawn, you can go and just hold out your voice. And that is about your optimal pitch. So the take home here is to use your optimal pitch. It's not good to use a pitch that is either too or high or too low for your anatomy. If you're using your optimal pitch, you are projecting, you're able to project farther into a room, let's say if you're giving a talk, your voice is clearer, your quality is nice, the loudness can be modulated nice, and it's healthy. Now, I'm going to give you an example of one thing we shouldn't do, which is using too low of a pitch, which is sometimes called glottal fry, creaky voice. And here's a little video of Kim Kardashian that was put together of her using this glottal fry pitch, which is using too low of a pitch, and you can see how it doesn't sound very clear.
And out a little bit. Green for you. Now offer to do it. It might like that one. The lip on the outfit and eat it, what you want and what you get.
Can you hear how that is not clear?
You guys do about it. No, line. Decade ago. I'm here together right now by him. A Lamborghini. Yeah, I went for his birthday.
I like that. Now, women tend to use glottal fry at the end of their sentences when they use it, and men tend to use it in the middle of the sentence. We don't know why that is true, but men use glottal fry, and we don't really notice it too much. We kind of think it's part of man speak. But when women use it, it starts to sound really not so good. There are a couple of theories as to why people are using glottal fry more and more these days. One is that a woman might have an unconscious wish to be more powerful and to speak lower, because we interpret power with a lower voice. Sometimes people just want to sound cool, like I don't really care about anything. And you can hear that in some younger people nowadays. It's just a trend, maybe. But whatever the cause, it's not healthy for you, and it can cause you to have real problems, medical problems with your vocal folds. Now, what's wrong with glottal fry? It sounds creaky, breathy. It doesn't have the intonational range to express yourself. You can't project, and it's unhealthy. Here's a little video. You're going to hear a woman instructing. This is during a laryngoscopy exam. So those are the vocal folds, these white bands here, and they vibrate. You'll see them vibrating. And when the person has a very nice, clear, loud voice, you'll hear it going very high or regularly voicing. And when it's low, glottal fry, you'll see a different pattern. It's kind of hard to hear that, I think. There, she's high. Let me play that again. Nice, even. I'm going to go low. Uneven. Then she goes up high again, and the vocal folds vibrate much nicer. Okay. Now, you can hear glottal fry all over the place. This was Christine Blasey Ford testifying at the Kavanaugh hearings over a year ago now, and you can hear her voice. I'm just going to play a little bit of this. I just took this with my phone off the television. You can hear how her voice is kind of creaky, whereas Rachel Mitchell, the deputy county attorney, does not have that issue with her voice. So let's compare the two.
Sure yet. I haven't taken a look at all of the costs involved in this. We've relocated now twice, so I haven't kept track of all of that paperwork, but I'm sure I have a lot of work to do to catch up on all of that later.
I get you have a lot going on, and you've had that for several months.
You can hear how she has a clear voice.
Is it your understanding?
And then here's another example just from the radio, from NPR. And you can hear these words that this woman is saying, this reporter, that I put in red are the ones that are more lower and have more of this glottal fry.
The overall story and the audience's understanding of what Congress is doing here could become the biggest thing.
Can you hear that biggest thing?
When it was clear a few months ago that Nadler was going to be chair of judiciary right after the midterms.
Okay, and so on. So the take home here is speak with your optimal pitch, not too low of a pitch. Try to find your optimal pitch and see if you can hear or ask your friends or family, do you speak sometimes with this low, creaky voice? And just make a conscious effort to raise your pitch. It's healthier. Now, another thing that's not good is using too high of a pitch. We want to avoid what some people have called upspeak. And this is where the pitch goes up at the end of every sentence as if it's a question, but it's really not. And it doesn't sound very confident. Now, many say that this style of speech began with young women in the San Fernando Valley 20 or so years ago. Valley girls speak, but we don't really know. Now, it is okay to use rising inflection or rising pitch at the end of certain utterances. For example, yes/no questions. If I said, have you had enough wine? Is it time to go to bed? I am going up there. Or when you have more to say. In other words, like add a comma in a sentence. I want to buy a new car, a new house, and a dog. I go down at the end. Or when the speaker wants listeners to chime in. You could say, well, we could go for Chinese food, Italian, and then I kind of leave it like that. And someone else might say, no, let's go for Indian. Or the last situation that it's okay to use a rising inflection is when you're holding the floor as a moderator when you're interrupted. So if someone interrupts you and you are speaking, you can say, we'll get to that. Let's move on. Now here is an example of upspeak in a male lawyer. Now listen for the words that I drew the little arrows on, and you can hear how he goes up. And think to yourself, does this guy sound confident?
Yeah, my only concern is that we're going to run up a big legal bill if they decide not to go ahead. I mean, of course, we can start turning all the documents and stuff, but I would think that we should do some groundwork right now.
Okay.
Yeah, my only concern is that we're going to run up a...
Okay. So what you should be doing at the end of the sentences is going down. If you go down at the end of sentences or statements in pitch, go down in pitch, you will sound more confident. So you can try this by yourself now reading this. I'll read it first. My only concern is that we're going to run up a big legal bill if they decide not to go ahead. I mean, of course, we could start turning all the documents and stuff, but I would think that we should do some groundwork right now. So the rule is go down at the end of a sentence when there's period. So the summary for this little short video is the vocal folds are the muscles in our throat that create our voice. The vocal folds vibrate at a certain length or a certain frequency based on the length, width, and tension of the muscle tissue. And using too low of a pitch is not good. That's glottal fry. And using too high of a pitch doesn't sound confident. So let me know how you like this, and good luck sounding powerful and confident.